Art on WJZZ, Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. You can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook Live, and YouTube. And also, you please comment tonight. We can't accept any phone calls because we have two wonderful guests. But if you would like to comment, and you can also watch it live on YouTube too and comment on there. So we're gonna get ready and talk to our guest.
Yes, we are just very excited today. Tonight is a continuation. If you watched last night, we celebrated the 2022 Visionary Artist Project curated by Miss Valerie Fair. So last week we had the pleasure of having Valerie Fair, Bill Sanders, Shirley Woodson, and Judy Bowman on. Tonight we have Sabrina Nelson and Mandisa Smith. So we're very excited and
Welcome.
welcome, ladies.
Welcome. We're so excited to have you
Welcome,
guys.
Sabrina. Welcome, Mandisa.
Well,
Welcome.
hey.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming on. Oh, you look cute. That's what you stepped away to.
Oh,
Miss Smith. You look
Yeah,
good.
put some lipstick on.
looks
Yeah.
so good. She always looks good.
Mandisa, you look beautiful.
Thank you,
And she
Sabrina.
comes on with the pose like you see it. You see it.
She did feel like
It's
Eartha
like,
Kitt.
I'm here. I
Well,
love it.
ladies, welcome. Um, First and foremost, 2022 Visionary Artist Calendar with Valerie Fair.
What?
What an amazing project.
And what an opportunity.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you know.
What was it like to be part of that?
Well, for me, it was really an honor. I mean, you know, it was such a big surprise to me when Valerie reached out to me, and the other artists who were involved are people that I all truly admire, both their work and their lives in general. And I mean, Cleety, Dr. Cleety Taylor, Shirley Woodson, Del Pryor. I mean, those are icons in our world. And just to be involved in a project that they are also a part of is just a really big honor. Not to mention all of my peers, like Sabrina and Najma, who was my partner at Detroit Fiber Works, and Judy Bowman, who I just can't wait to be to reach her heights, and Bill. Oh my God,
Oh,
Bill was just
Hey, how y'all? Oh, I thought I
oh
would just be a listening participant. I didn't think that I would be.
no, you're
all
here.
around
You're
too.
here with
Okay,
us.
because Bill Sanders captured it all. So
He's the
welcome,
guy.
Bill Sanders.
Yeah.
Welcome. We're so glad to have
Well,
you.
hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Mandisa was just talking about
Let me
what an
let me
honor
turn my
it
light
was
on.
to be on the calendar. Well,
There he
there you
is.
go.
Now we can
Amen.
see you.
There we go.
Welcome.
So
Welcome.
Sabrina, how did it feel for you to be part of it?
I'm just gonna kind of piggyback on what Mandisa said. For me, it was, I can be. I just it was a great honor, and I also a fangirl, if you will, of a lot of the artists that were in there, and a friend and a sister to so many, like Jocelyn Rainey and I. We've gone through so many things at CCS together, her journey, and then just being, knowing Bill all of my NCA life. And knowing that, I was honored because, like I said, Valerie was my gateway to performance art, and being in there with Shirley and Judy Bowman and Del Pryor. And so, knowing all of these great legend artists and wanting to be like them, if you will, when I grow up.
This is so
And
cute.
looking at everybody's work, it was just amazing to be a part of the project.
Yes. So what was that phone call like? Well, not like when she reached out. Um, the details surrounding it. I know that she said that she really respected your art and what you brought to the table, your careers and all of that. So she really knew that you would nail it. I believe was
Right, right,
her
right.
was her word for it. Was there an assignment that she gave you? Did she say, "Look, wear this, wear that," or was it pretty open with what she wanted you to do?
She gave us a couple of mood board pictures, if you will. Like, this is the mood that I'm setting, and I know you're going to do your thing. But knowing Val and knowing her work and seeing also Bill's work and knowing who I am, you know, it was really beautiful. I mean, I had so many thoughts in my head, and knowing all the artists that were involved, I was excited to see what everybody was going to bring, and Bill's excitement on set. He was like, "Sabrina, I knew you was gonna do this. I knew you was gonna do this. You was just gonna lay it down." And then, he talked about, and he was so respectful of Valerie's vision. He was like, "Well, I usually do with the client, and I'm just gonna I'm do everything that she needs to do. I'm in support." And so I wanted to know what everybody else was doing. Like, it's sort of like I wanted to be the fly on the wall. Like, can I hold the light? Can I hold the camera? Whoever coming in next? Like, I was so excited for everybody else's. I dress like I did in the calendar, like every day. Like, that's not unusual for me. I paint my head often.
Mhm.
Like, if I could dip myself in paint or, wear those things, like, if I could wear Mandisa's things that she makes, let me tell you something, I would, if
Oh
I could
God.
afford it. But
Yeah,
it was easy and I was excited, so.
Okay.
that's
Real
very
quick,
cool.
can we have well, I have two of Miss Nelson's pictures. Can we have them up so the viewers can see? Get a taste of
Wow.
how
Mm,
many pictures, Bill, how many
amazing.
lady did you shoot? Was there a whole lot, or did how did you choose?
You said how many were there?
Yeah, like were there a lot to choose from, or I guess how did you decide which were going to go into the calendar?
God, that's
Oh, this it was not my choice. This was Valerie's choice,
Okay.
and I'm only here because I thought that would. I just saw the link, and I just want to hear the second part of it. But you need Valerie
Well,
to be
Bill,
back on
you're
stage.
so humble though. You shot it. You lit it. You encouraged me to move the way that I did on the shoot. So I feel like
Wait a
even
minute.
though it's
Well,
Valerie's.
maybe I'm not hearing the question right. You asked me how many ladies were there to shoot. What was
Well,
the question?
let me just ask this, because for instance, with Sabrina, she has a light background where the others had black. What was the meaning for that?
Oh, well, all the ladies had a black and a white background. Once
oh okay.
again, this was Valerie's choice to pick the final cut.
Oh,
Everybody had a white. I shot everybody on what's called, let's call a high key that
Okay.
she shot. The other one was a low key. So there was a low and high key for each lady, and I liked it both of them. But it
Hmm.
was Valerie's choice to pick the one that she wanted.
to send
Okay.
to the calendar. Can we go back to that first one? Because I like this one because it kind of has a close up on your nails and
Yeah.
the pops of colors with the black and white, and the subtleties in the colors. It's not traditionally bold colors, but it's such a bold image. Do you What did you feel like when you were being photographed, Sabrina?
Oh, this felt really special. I mean, I used to look at Bill's work as paintings, if you will, because his fine arts work is what I would always try and what is the word? Like, I would like try and decompose it to see, not decompose, but take it apart to see how he put it together. Because it was my first introduction to photography as the way that he shot, that wasn't commercial, that wasn't shooting outdoors or shooting some portrait. It was his painting, his photography looked like painting to me.
Yeah.
It looked like still life. So to be on the set in, Wayne County Community College District room where he has made this sanctuary of photography, if you will, and to see the black background and the white background and to see how he set up the lights that were like really big was like, oh, this is like him setting up a still life, if you will. Like, I am the still life, and he's giving the curator what she wants. So he's like, Sabrina, I just knew you were killing. You just do what you want to do. Just go on in there, big. This is Bill talking, right? And he's so humble with it, but I think, like, being comfortable in front of the camera, I'm really comfortable in front of my own cell phone, like, taking my own pictures, if you will, but I'm not as comfortable in front of someone else's camera, especially when they're giving me, "Pose way, do this," and so Bill just kinda let me kinda be myself, so it was really
Oh,
easy, if you will. It was very, very easy because I'm comfortable with Bill, he feels like family, so I was, it was just comfortable.
Yeah,
oh.
you're very self-directed already, Sabrina. Your your consciousness as it relates to what you want to do and be is just there. So it was very easy working with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
We have another guest
We
on.
do. Welcome.
Hello.
Uh, Hello.
Hello.
Name on there, but Miss Rainey, right? Jocelyn Rainey.
Where is she?
Welcome,
No,
Yeah.
that's
This is
Kathleen.
Kathleen
That's
Hawks.
not Jocelyn.
guys. Apologize. That's not on. Okay, look, welcome.
Hi.
Hi there. Okay,
Hello.
um, Miss Smith. Uh,
Yes.
if we can have
You
her.
can call me Mandisa.
Okay,
Call her Mandisa.
Mandisa.
I know her as Mandisa.
I
I
just wanted to.
love that.
Isn't it gorgeous? It's just so absolutely
Oh,
royal. It regal. It has that. It just still has like that gold hue to it. You are so beautiful.
did you have
Yes, yes.
did you have fun doing it? I bet you
I
had a
had
ball.
a wonderful time. Bill is just the consummate professional. Um, and he put me at ease. His direction was just very clear, and I had a wonderful time, and it was over too soon. I mean, I was like, I would have stayed there all day if
I
I
know.
could.
Yeah, but
Come on, let's keep going.
I
It
felt the
was
same way
fun.
about all the shoots. Yeah, it was over too soon.
Yeah, it was great.
So how did,
And I can't wait to see. I haven't had a chance. I built. You asked the question earlier. He took tons and tons of shots of all of us, and I can't wait to see all of them because actually there's another shot that I like. Even I like myself in the purple a
Hmm.
lot, but there's another shot in the purple that I really, really, really like.
Yeah, cause
Yeah.
that gold skin goes with that purple, it just jumps so nicely, it's just beautiful.
And see, once again, this was Valerie's ultimate selection. She was I guess you could call her the art director as well as creator. So it was her choice to pick what she wanted to display. But you're right, there are a lot of other excellent shots that I thought. Matter of fact, every shot that I turned in, I considered the one. Okay, that's one. This is the one. That's the one. So it was a choice that she had to make, and I knew it had to be a tough choice because there was a lot of shots on all it.
I was going to say it must have been hard for her to choose which one.
I would imagine it would
I
have
would
been.
have been like, I like them all, but what do I do? Maybe she just did, you know,
Meeny, meeny, miny, mo.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're just gonna take
Yeah,
a moment.
well,
Hang on one
we'll
second.
get together on that, Mandisa, and we'll work
Okay.
out. We'll get some
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
we're gonna take a moment and remind our viewers that you're watching Get Down and Dirty Talking Art with Khalifa the artist.
And Debbie LaPrette, the
That's right.
artist. So
You're watching
welcome.
on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. Like, subscribe, share, and comment.
Yes, and please comment. If anybody's watching, please make your comments below. Thank you.
They're commenting, but I need some glasses apparently.
I know. It's like I got to get my little binoculars on to see.
All right, if you're just tuning in, we're here with our wonderful guest from Visionary 2022 Visionary Artist Project, curated by Valerie Fair. We're here with Miss Sabrina Nelson, Mandisa Smith, Miss Bill Sanders, and Miss Kathleen Makers.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you
Um,
for being with us.
yes, thank you. All right, so Mandisa, I did have a question because you had mentioned with your choice of makeup that you used for this particular
Hmm.
project. Could you tell us a bit about how you made yourself up and why?
So, I think what I mentioned was that I have several years ago, it's been a long time now, maybe about 10 years or longer. I developed a condition called xanthelasma, and it's like cholesterol deposits under and above my eyes. And at first I was like, what? I mean, I was really like really kind of self-conscious about it. And now I don't even see it anymore. But I decided for the shot that I would, um, I don't know, maybe camouflage it by putting the dots on my face. So that was my motivation for the dots,
Hmm.
really. And I also knew what Valerie, I knew where she was going because, like Sabrina mentioned, she had sent us the photographs of kind of vibe she was looking for, and I thought that would fit. So I'm
Yes.
not. I think I also mentioned I don't wear much makeup anymore. Um, but like I said, I knew what Valerie was look. I had an idea what she was looking for, and I thought that would work. So that's how that's how that happened.
Yeah.
I love how each woman has a strong presence, but a very unique
Yeah.
that comes through in
Very,
each shot.
very,
It's
very.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, Miss Kathleen, welcome. Could you tell our viewers well, number one, how was it? What was your role in the project and how did it feel being part
No,
of
no, no, I wasn't in the project. I'm just here listening.
it? Okay. Where did
Yeah.
this go to? Were you on TV, girl? Hey.
That's
Okay.
all right.
But you
Just
You
say,
saw
didn't
the
tell me
project.
that.
So
See, like Kathleen, I thought I was just a listening participant because we were on last week,
I don't make no
that's
mistakes.
right.
and
But
I was right in the middle of the show.
you
So
You
saw
I
in the
was,
project now, Kathleen? You in it?
Right. You're in the project.
I was
Tag
going
you
to
it.
get her
did you see the photographs? Did you see it?
the calendar.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. I thought it was very unique.
Yes. Yes. I
How
thought
did you hear about it?
From Valerie.
From
that
Valerie? Okay.
Yes.
well, welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm
Well,
going to get her.
you all right. You all right because you in it now.
You're here. You don't go nowhere. You just stay with us.
Yes. Well, I did.
Can't promise that.
I did want to talk about the calendar as visionary artists, but each of you still chose to pay homage or kind of show a message through the images and what you brought to the um, the project.
Right.
I know Mandisa, you spoke on having um, Catherine Blackwell. You had a piece of hers to make.
Yeah, so there were two sets of garments, I guess. Well, I mean, I didn't have to change clothes, but I wore the orange gold piece was something that I actually made
I was going to
because
ask you, did you
I
make
yeah, I'm a fiber artist, and oh shoot, what happened? Hold on. Sorry
I
about
love
that.
live TV. I love it.
Hold on, I
ain't
didn't,
me.
I didn't, I didn't disable, I didn't disable my calls. Hold on.
Ain't,
Okay, where are you all? I gotta find you.
We're still here.
You're
So
still there? Am I still there?
yeah,
yes,
we still see you.
Oh, okay. You can still see me
yes,
because I
Yeah.
Yep,
can't see myself
and
anymore.
hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. So the orange I was my own garment, but the purple was a shawl a wrap that belonged to Catherine Carter Blackwell, who is someone who was very, very dear to me. She passed away several years ago. She was someone who traveled to Africa more than 50 times in her lifetime.
Wow.
And she introduced um, the knowledge of African culture to the Detroit Public Schools. She was the first person to develop an African centered curriculum in the Detroit Public Schools. So I very much wanted to pay homage to her in in the photographs.
That's
I love it.
very cool.
I love that.
That's very cool. That's very
That's
cool.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
Sabrina, you mentioned artism. Hey, look, you coined a phrase. I got a bunch of phrases. I got do farm, take no shit. I got for how I'm art. Artivism is action. You mentioned before about being art and becoming the art. How did that influence this project? Was there a message that you felt you needed to deliver through your art with this project?
Yeah, for me, like I know Mandisa said she doesn't wear makeup anymore, but I consider this fake up, right? Like painting myself, um just adding a little bit of armor, if you will, so that I give face for whatever the moment is.
Yeah.
For the calendar, I was thinking about the Indelible women. I was also thinking about indigenous war paint. I was thinking about women and men who paint their faces from all different parts of the world, from New Zealand to Australia to Mexico to the continent of Africa, so just thinking about what that meant and what it means to paint oneself. You know, like I am my first canvas is the words that I use all the time because I paint myself for myself, but then I also paint myself for the world. And, you know, the canvas doesn't always have to exist on paper or cotton duck. Like
Hmm.
the skin is canvas, you know, as we dress ourselves, we are painting who we want to be perceived as in many ways and
True.
how we look at ourselves, are a reflection of ourselves in the mirror. And so depending on what suits we wear and how we present the fake up, um, that can determine the mood or the moment, if you will. Like, what am I saying to the world about this? And so, doing exactly what Valerie asked us to do. After I left the shoot with Bill, I went to the Blackout Walls Mural Festival, and Lamar Lander shot me that day. And, you know, the pose was like, I didn't want to smile. Like, there was no, like, I wanted my face to be, like, there wasn't no, you know, it was just, this is it. And I forgot I had it on. Like, I was moving through the festival and people were looking at me and looking at the walls, and I forgot I had it on. Um, but I do that often, and that's okay. So it just depends on how, you know, what I'm feeling. But for that mission, I really enjoyed it. Just painting myself for Valerie
Very
as
nice.
an homage to Valerie and Bill. You know, like you know, being a still life in his painted photography.
Right.
Like I was always trying to take his paintings or his photography apart. Like, how did he set this up? Like it would be something painted, something sprayed, something placed. And then I'd be like, how did he do it? Like I always tried to figure out how he did it. And so it was an
Well,
honor.
thank you for the plug. Well, a lot of people, as you speak about my work, they would to reference it as you're speaking. They may, if they haven't seen my work, they wouldn't know what you're talking about. But I do still life setups, and the way you're referring to, I hadn't thought about it that way. But I did kind of approach y'all in the way that I would do my own work. You know, like y'all were part of found objects that I placed for a
Yeah.
bigger tabletop setup, which was a photo suite. So in a sense, you're right. I kind of was photographing y'all the same way I do my regular mixed media fine artwork.
Well, your thumbprint is always going to be your thumbprint. So I
I
don't
guess
think it
so.
will ever change.
I
Like
Right.
guess you.
the cook
Yeah.
is always the cook, the chef. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter.
I
You're the
guess you're
cook.
right. You're right, Sabrina. I like the way you analyze that.
Yes.
That's
It
cool.
really does come through with your photography. It A lot of it is very vibrant and it pops off of the I was going to say the canvas,
Yeah,
basically the
yeah.
canvas. It
It
pops
makes a
right off of the
statement. That's
page.
when I
It
look at it.
does.
It's a very powerful
And when I
statement.
look at these ladies, it
It's
absolutely
just,
does with the colors, with how it does. It
yeah,
almost looks like a still life. Especially I guess with Mandisa's because she has the purple, where everybody else has different shades of blacks and whites, and
hmm,
Valerie with her orange, but that was
right,
different.
right.
But it really does. I can't explain it. It's almost like a drawing or like a painting.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
think Valerie told us to wear black and white either. She didn't say that.
Didn't.
So
She's left
it
it
was
wide open.
nice that we all came in with that idea. Or maybe it's the availability of face paint that is black and white.
mhm.
Although I mean, you can use many other colors, but I think it was just so easy to find the black and white quicker.
It definitely it stands out. It makes a statement, especially with all of the other colors, even just your skin, your flesh
Yeah,
tones.
yeah,
With
yeah.
everybody being brown women. And then the choice of black and white paint up against all of these rich colors
They
is
look
just
so
it's
beautiful. I'm
beautiful.
just so beautiful. We have some more photos. Can we bring some more of them up?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Um, Mr. Yeah, you can put up that one.
Look
Engineer.
at that. Isn't
That
it?
was Najma.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Najma actually has a bit of modeling experience.
And that's indigo blue she's wearing, right, Mandisa?
It is indigo.
Did she
Wow.
make that?
And no, I don't think that's one of I don't think that's her work. That looks like some authentic African
It's gorgeous.
fabric. And then the neck piece looks like it's all cowrie shells.
Oh,
But Najma was really sorry that she couldn't be with us tonight, but she definitely she had wanted to talk about what a wonderful experience it was for her that day because she had the opportunity, the responsibility, and the opportunity and the honor to bring to Bill's studio. I believe who came with her that day, Bill? Was it Cleety and Dell? Do you remember?
Cleety and Dale. Well,
Yeah.
see, I'm getting a break. I remember even getting a sign about the screening. You broke up. I heard parts of that.
Oh, I was trying to remember who Najma brought to the studio that day. I think it was
She
Cleety and
brought she brought Cleety and Dale. She brought both.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was such an honor for her
yeah.
to bring them that day
Oh,
and to be with them during that session.
Bill, what is that in her hand? Do you remember?
That's just like a switch. Basically, it would be like
That's what.
a fly
It's
swatter.
yeah, it's to keep flies off of you. It's
Yeah,
probably
that's
like a
okay.
horse tail or a cow
yeah.
tail, something like that.
And
Okay.
you would use it to switch away the bugs and flies and they.
Okay.
I love that.
That's cool. I like the whole pose.
Can we put up a picture of Dale Pryor? Thank you.
That's gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that she has the yellow hues. And she kind of has a sweetness about her photo that comes to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
And this is okay, but there's a lot of other good shots. I mean, it's just. But this was Valerie's choice, and she being the art director, it was her choice. But I could show you a lot of other good shots of Dale that I like better than this one. Not to say that this is not a good one, but Dale really projected well, and Cleety,
Mm-hmm.
and Mandisa,
We all did
and
because
Sabrina.
because
Everybody,
you made it happen, Bill.
everybody just came
You
in.
you made us all look great.
They came ready for this. So all honest is due to y'all because y'all were the real creators of each one of your visions. Because Valerie really left it wide open, and you could have done anything you wanted to, and y'all came in real creative, and rightfully so, because all of you are artists in your own right. So you kind of had that own creativeness about yourself that you automatically was going to deal with.
Mhm.
So I think it was a well thought, even though it wasn't a whole lot of deep But I ain't gonna say because it could have been. It was a well produced idea that came off real easy.
I agree. I agree.
Yep.
We got to take a 2 second break. Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
go
watching Get Down and
ahead.
Dirty Talking Art with Calibri the artist.
And Debbie LeBrant.
Right, you're
Hey.
watching on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, streaming live on YouTube, Twitter,
Twitch.
Facebook, and Twitch.
Yes. So if you guys got watching this, please make some comments. I just have a question for you guys. Being you guys really stepped out of the box because if you want to just very briefly, both of you guys to say what kind of artwork you do, so the other people know. Because I mean, you know, like Mandisa, tell us a little bit about about you.
Okay, let's see. I am not a formally trained artist. I actually worked in the automobile industry for a long time. I've got an MBA from the University of Michigan, and I escaped from that world
I love it.
I was gonna
years
say that's a
ago.
serious degree you got there.
Woo! Lord.
MBA. That's from Michigan.
Yeah,
That's serious.
so but I've been an artist all my life, really. And I whenever I talk about myself and my work as an artist, I have to talk about my father because he was the most creative person I've known. He did everything. So he liked to paint, he liked to build furniture, he liked to tailor things. He had a dark room in the basement when I was growing up. He just did everything. He did everything. I can't think of anything he didn't do. And so I attribute my creative gene to him. And so I was a jewelry designer,
Right.
and you know, I had I did okay. I mean, I never made a lot of money as a jewelry designer, but I did have a little bit of notoriety. So I was featured in Our magazine a couple of times.
That's it. That is
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but I liked making jewelry, and I liked the jewelry that I made. I thought I did really wonderful work, but there was something about jewelry making that I didn't like, and that was that people would see something that I made and they would want another one just like it.
Yeah, and they can't because it's an original one of a kind.
Right.
Well, I mean, like I could do it, but I didn't want to. It's like,
I
okay,
Oh,
I already did that. I don't want to do that again.
want to make something new.
I want to make something new. So I discovered what I do primarily right now, and I'm always evolving, but what I do primarily now is felting,
It's amazing.
wet felting. And
Yeah.
wet felting is the most ancient fiber art of all.
Didn't know that.
Can you describe? Because I'm not familiar with what that is. Can you
So, wet felting is the process of transforming little wisp of wool into something, into fabric. But while I'm transforming it into fabric, I'm also transforming it into something. So, I'm transforming it into something sculptural, or I'm transforming it into something wearable, or I'm transforming it into something that you put on your wall. Um, and so I was actually how I got there was I was taking a metalsmithing class at the Birmingham Bloomfield Arts Center, and I flipped through the catalog and I saw felting. And I didn't know what it was. I had never heard of it before, but I think even I've always had an affinity for fiber. My grandmother was a quilter, my great aunts were quilters, and I never learned how to quilt, and I never really learned how to sew. My dad bought me a little Singer sewing machine when I was about 8 years old, and he
Same.
was such a perfectionist that I could never I never felt like I could do that, in my house. So I never learned how to sew. But I was drawn to this class on felting. My teacher was Loretta Oliver. She is an amazing artist. She's not felting anymore. I think she's back to weaving now. She taught at Wayne State University, but she was doing this workshop at Birmingham Bloomfield Arts Center. I took the workshop. I liked it. After it was over, I ordered a bunch of materials. I tried to make something. I tried to make a hat. It came out really bad. I I put the stuff away and just forgot about it, for years. And
Really? I know that.
yeah, and then the Bal Africaine was happening, and I don't you're all familiar with Bal Africaine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Bal Africaine was the event of the year.
Yep.
And I had bought this beautiful dress that I was going to wear to the ball, but it was a little low in the back, and I wanted to cover my back up. And I went out looking for a wrap to wear, and I couldn't find anything. And something said, you could felt it. And I did.
I love
And and it was fabulous. And I got all these compliments that night. Bill, you probably took some pictures of me.
Yeah, I probably did because I was a photographer for that night.
And I
Oh,
was
I
just
do miss it.
really, yeah, I was just really, really excited about how it turned out. And I just started felting more after that. So that was kind of the beginning of my career as a fiber artist. And so just a quick plug. Um, I am going to be in a show that's at Detroit Artist Market that's opening on January 21st. So if you're interested in seeing more of my work, and there's 6 other amazing women artists in that exhibit. The show is curated by Dr. Anita Bates, who is a Kresge Fellow. So come check it out.
Oh,
What's the
cool.
name of the show?
Into the Open.
Ooh, I like
Okay,
that. I
yeah.
like that.
When is the date again?
It opens on the 21st.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And it goes through sometime in February. I'm not sure the end date. I don't remember the end date.
That's very cool. Yeah. Well, thank you for pointing that. Always
Yeah.
good plug.
Yeah. And Sabrina, you're in 2 shows currently right now as well, right?
Where'd she go?
There.
There she
I'm
is.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you just said?
We were piggybacking on her being on the show, but you're in 2 exhibitions as
I
well.
am. I am in 2 exhibitions. One is at M Contemporary Gallery, where I'm in a group show there, um, and there's some really great artists in that show. I'm in the show with Rashawn Rucker, Sydney Camp, Sydney James, Sangor, Reed, um, Richard Lewis, and quite a few others. So you can go on their website. That show just opened on the 8th of this month. And then I have a solo show at Central Michigan University called Who is Medicine? And in that show, it's all work that is related to healing herbs and also identifying who are the healers in our family and how they um, are identified as herbs based on their placement in my family and how they are in the family.
Cool.
And so that show, I'll physically be there in February, and I'm going to be doing embroidery of the herbs related to each person who's assigned an herb. Like my brother is Chevril, my son is lavender, one of my daughters is sage, and so on and so forth. I have Sydney James in there too, and she is black ginger, if you will. And so everyone's assigned an herb based on who they are, how they are, and how I identify them as well.
That's really cool. How
Yeah.
did you come up with that concept?
Yeah.
There's a quote by Rumi. um, who is a philosopher poet for me, Persian, who says, yesterday I was smart and I wanted to change the world. Today I don't know, I might be off on the quote. I'm not reading it. So today I'm brilliant and I've decided to change myself. So I've been working on the
That's a cool
um
statement.
it's a listen, Rumi is Rumi.
I love Rumi.
Yes, I love Rumi. So I've been working on the Blackbird, Why You Want to Fly Blackbird series for a very long time. And I'm in that one, I am talking about mothers who lose their children to death. And also the idea that mothers who are Black and brown lose their children to death because people don't value their children. And so, not stepping away from that, but just taking a knee for a moment and talking about sick of being sick. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Living and thriving through a pandemic and a racial pandemic and a viral pandemic, and just the idea of all of the anxiety that I see and feel. Um, Knowing that my grandmother was a healer and my grandfather was a medicine man who sewed tamales on the road to feed his children, and he made healing tinctures to heal people. And this is my father's father, who was born in either Arkansas or Mississippi on a Choctaw reservation.
Wow.
Um, so just thinking about the lineage that I come from and that's in me, like when I was little, we didn't go to the doctor or to the hospital. My grandmother and my great grandmother took care of us, and they were from Alabama, and so they made salves, and you took, every day we had to take castor oil or whatever they gave us.
Yeah.
This was like every day, and I was like, "Listen, we the healthiest babies ever. I don't need that."
We used to have to take to
Yeah.
Alabama.
But I mean, that was like they used to give us like, and my great grandmother was in charge of our health, and she was the medicine woman, if you will, and none of us were sick, right? And so just thinking about that and the idea that we need healing, we need to identify what our illnesses are, whether it's grief. I'm in a constant state of gratitude, grace, and grief. I lost my father to coronavirus. I know it's real. But I feel like I'm living in the matrix, and I want to be the oracle, and I want to provide the concept of let's stay healthy. But first, let's identify that we're sick.
You
So
must be watching The Matrix right now. This is on TV right now.
no, I'm not watching it. I'm living the matrix. I don't need to watch it. I'm
Well,
like,
it's on right now. I'm looking at it back and forth.
so just the idea of how we are as people, our gardens, where we've gotten away from taking care of ourselves and each other and honoring, like we're here on this planet to honor each other, and if we're not doing that, something's off, right?
Yes.
And so the idea that we also need to identify that we're sick. And some people, when I say I'm sick, they're like, "Oh, you ain't got it, do you?" And I'm like, "We all got it."
Mm-hmm.
Like we're sad, and we're dying every day a little bit. We're dying every day, just the natural way of living. We are born and then we die, but the dash in between, we should honor each other and ourselves. We should treat ourselves right. We should eat good food, listen to good music, move in harmony with each other. And so that's how I came up with that concept of like, how do we heal ourselves and how do we get back to a place where we don't look for medical doctors to heal us, or we don't wait for heroes and saviors, that we look in the mirror and see that we are our own healers, we are our own saviors, and we have everything in us to heal ourselves. And so
So
that's
well
where
spoken.
I am.
Yeah.
Well spoken,
So,
yes.
so philosophical.
Very.
Yes.
Now, is that something that you've grown throughout your career, or was this a point? 'Cause I know you mentioned that you started. Well, you were saying that Valerie was the first person that kind of told you or showed you, um, basically that you can be art, and art can be performance and living and stuff like that. Did that mission come from there, or was it something that you had to grow into over time?
Well, I don't think that was a mission that, like, like, you know, I think sometimes when you accept your mission, sometimes you don't even know what your mission is. Like, once you figure out who you are
Hmm.
and how you are in this place that we call Earth, and then what power you have, like with great power in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. You can't just be an artist, like Nina Simone says, and not reflect the time that you live in. And how I reflect that can be with the art that I choose to make and the way that I live my life. Like, if I'm not touching those around me with light, spreading light, sharing light, creating light, if I'm not being medicine, if I'm not being healing, then why am I here? And so, my superpower is art, and not everybody has that platform or that courage or that voice. And with that courage, that platform, and that voice, there's some stuff and some shit that need to be said, and I'm gonna say it.
I like that.
Preach, Carol. Preach, Sabrina.
Is that where what you say? Do no harm, take no shit.
Right, that is my word, that's my mantra, if you will. Like, do no harm and take no shit. Like, people always assume that, artists, like, "Can you draw me? Will you draw me? Can you do this? Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Listen, why don't you go ask Jay-Z to write you a poem? Because you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that." So you need to respect artists in the way that you respect the doctors and the holy men in your community. But I also respect myself, and I also have things to say that I think are important to the world. Like, I feel like understanding, like, Christ and Buddha and people's, like, that are considered not people, but holy saints, if you will, or the Orishas, if you will, and folks who look to find harmony and to also find out why there's so much suffering in the world and how do you stop it. Like, it's hard for me to look at my friends and family who are suffering and not feel like I need to do something. Like, that's crazy, right? And so for me, I think it's a part of my duty, as I have been touched by light, that I need to share the light that I have in me with those that can see the light, and those that can't, eventually they're going to come to the light, right? And I'm not trying to baptize anybody in it, but like teaching empathy, like if you teach someone that there is value in black and brown children, perhaps they won't kill them.
All right.
I like that. Yes.
Now, Mandisa, do you feel that you inspire people with your art? Because of course, I mean,
Hmm.
outside looking in, obviously you do, but even your story with dropping one huge career and being courageous enough to move in your light, as Sabrina was saying. Is that intentional?
I, for me, I think being an artist is just something that is inside of me that has to come out. It's not like, it's not so much, I mean, it is a choice, but it's a calling, it's it's just the thing that I have to do. I have to do it. Otherwise, I'm not living. Um, and
Yeah.
I like to think that, well, I think that art is very important. I mean, I think it's critical. I cannot imagine a
Well, we lost you for a
We
second,
lost her. Right. We lost them both.
Mandisa. Well,
All right. Well,
well.
we're here.
I
So
know she was going to say she can't imagine a world without art. I could feel that.
I
that's
can
right.
feel
That's
it
right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
What about you, Bill? And with your art, but also documenting now in this phase,
Yeah.
what is the
Documenting
impact
history.
that you give?
Yeah, well, like Mandisa was saying on that same line and giving a point to that, art is a counterbalance to everything else in life. And without it, it would be out of kilter.
Mm.
So you got to kind of have it in order to be able to have that connection with the supreme being, with God. As a matter of fact, God being a creator, we being born in his likeness, being created in his likeness, makes us, I would call us miniature gods and goddesses, as it relates to us being creators. I'm speaking of the artists. Now, there are other people in their field of work who are creators, the writers are creators, or even the lawyers are creators in their fields. But the fine artist is closer to God than any other creature on earth. And I know I might be taking a big liberty to say that, but we are creators, we being artists. And as an artist, you create, and you create the same way God creates. So in that sense,
Powerful
you
statement.
kind of, in that sense, you kind of feel, or you should, for me anyway. And I'm taking this liberty, and I'm taking it because I feel this way. I'm feeling that my religion is my art, and I don't necessarily belong to an organized religion because I feel like this higher being is within me, that I am a religion, and my religion is art and being an artist. So when people speak about the importance of it, it runs deep with me. I mean, it runs so deep that it is a part of my existence, being this artist, because I feel like I was put here for that particular reason. And early on, I felt that connection, that I'm kind of special. And in that sense, I feel that specialness, that I am the closest to God because I am a creator. And that ain't taking nothing away from everybody else on this earth, because they also were created in God's likeness. But I feel like I kind of connected, and I kind of connected with that cosmic consciousness that's out there. And I can feel that connection. And in that connection, I feel art.
And so you're
And
infused with it.
Right,
And the
yes.
obligation and duty that comes with it, you're infused with that too. I agree.
like Sabrina said, for those who are given this, there's expected to be. I mean, you're given this, so there's a responsibility that you are expected to hold up to. So in that, and if I feel real guilty when I'm not creating art, because I feel like I'm not living up to my mat or what I was meant to be here for.
Mhm. Thank you, Regina Smith, for your comment. She says, beautiful. Say that.
I can see the grandkids in the back. I
And she's
love
saying
it.
she agreed with you, Mr. Bill Sanders. Hey,
All right.
grandbabies.
Hi,
Hey.
grandbaby.
Hey.
I love it.
Yeah. All
Well,
right, Virginia. I agree with you.
that's
Okay. Thank you.
our time. We got
Yeah.
about 1 minute left.
Yes.
Is there any positive note that you want to leave the viewers with?
Um, I just want to say that once you find your gift, whatever it is, make sure that you share it, that you make sure that you dive in it wholeheartedly, and also honor people around you. Like, see
Yeah.
if you can offer it
I agree,
around
Sabrina.
you. These are gifts.
I
Those
agree.
are gifts. I love the two gifts. Hi, guys.
Okay.
Say hi. Hi.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
guys. Thank
for
you for
coming
being.
on. This is we'll have to have you come back for a why art segment.
That's right.
We do
That's
panel
right.
discussions where strictly like this where we talk about why art.
That's
why.
right.
That's it. Why art.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have to have you back on.
Yes.
But
I want to say thank you to Regina for all her great comments, to Regina Smith, who's given some great comments.
Yeah. Thank you, Regina.
Thank you, Regina.
Yes.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you everybody for tuning in. That was another fabulous episode of
Yeah.
Get Down and Dirty Talking Art on WJZZ Cool TV. Make sure you watch next Wednesday, 8 p.m. We have Mr. Ivan Quinones on talking about all that he's doing for Pontiac. So be sure to tune in.
Amazing show
That's
coming
right.
up. Thank you all, and everybody be safe, and see you next week. Bye, everybody.
That was so nice.
It was such a great show.
I like this little commentary that we do at the end where they can still hear us for those.